Whoa, Maniacs! Goodness gracious, you've made it to episode 116 of Soundcasting Network's very own video game podcast, where your argument is...
invalid.
Thank you. We are very, very proudly brought to you by Voodoo Ranger IPA. That is B Corp certified. Ooh, and Sagebo, what are we drinking?
The Imperial IPA, it's 9%. Knock you down.
That'll get you. B Corp certified, employee owned, beautiful, and savorings. Oh, you have that experimental? You are muted.
You're muted.
We're professional outfit around here, folks. But yes, I have the experimental IPA. I made it a point to get some today.
Super tight. And we are not coming to you from Studio 212 in South Lake Union, Seattle, but we are... we are not coming to you from Studio 212 Seattle, but we're coming to you from mysterious other locations. And we're going to start off the introductions and what we're playing real quick. And I am Loud and Brown, at Loud and Brown on Twitter. If you want to catch these hands, I am
Online.
on the online. I am Grostep with the PH on PlayStation and Steam. Haven't done Steam in a bit, but soon. I got life happening right now. To my left, I have Savorings.
Hi, I am sufficient. I gotta fix my hat here. Hello everyone, I'm the Savorings, ... say the whole thing, blah blah blah. Good to be seen. Good to hear and see all of you out there. I got nothing. I've been playing some stuff. Little Stellaris, a little VR here and there. Not really too much to speak on. A lot of work lately. So not complaining. I'll pass it down to the purple one. I forgot how you say purple in Spanish. I was gonna be witty and say that, but I don't remember.
I don't know how to say it in Spanish either. It's me, Sage Bell, on Twitch and Twitter. Else you put an underscore and model after it, and you find me on the other social medias. I have been obsessively playing Parkosaurus. It's a dinosaur zoo simulator game for the last week. I have over 20 hours in the game already.
In a week?
Wait, how many?
Over 20.
Nice.
Like 24.
That's like working, but that's working full time and then playing that game and then having to sleep.
So you realize people can have two things going at once, as in work and a game.
Oh.
Fuck that.
I mean, it's a simulator. It's not like I'm stuck in it, like, you know, when I'm playing DBD.
Yes, that's not .hack, huh?
And then over to that direction.
It's been a while. How's it going, everybody?
Hi, Goon.
My name is Goon. GOONPNW.
His name is Goon.
The resident BonusRound TO. You guys can find me on twitter.com/GoonPNW. I'm more active on there. I just realized that you guys are still using the opening song that we commissioned my buddy Flay for a while back. So it's really good to hear that too, and I haven't heard that in quite a fucking long time.
Fuck yeah.
And I really like Savering's hat. It just says sufficient.
Mm-hmm. You gotta keep that bar low.
Gotta keep the bar low, yeah. But you guys can find me basically I think Twitter and Discord. We have a Discord up now for anything bonus round related if you guys are into competing. For fighting games, that is. I haven't really been up to much. I actually haven't really been playing that many video games. I've been learning music. I picked up the guitar like 4 months ago and have been really into that. And I also just picked up a bass, and now I'm one of those people that just starts collecting instruments. So
there you go.
It's a really expensive hobby, as if I didn't have an expensive one to begin with collecting fight sticks and
welcome to my world, my
photography
friend.
equipment. And I assume it's probably more for you with like drum sets and everything. So drums like stuff.
So Goon, here's the thing that makes things easy. As you know a bunch of musicians. Drums have a finite amount of space. You could only have so many drum stuff. Guitars, take up the space of less than a bicycle. Your apartment can have 20. It's impossible for me to have 20 drum sets. So that's why. And then we're not even Maniacs. We're not even talking about pedals because that's how they get you.
Yep. So fortunately for me, I'm just going straight digital. So all of my stuff is going to be like I have a guitar plugin and everything that I practice that way. So I'm like super quiet in practicing. I don't even really own an amp besides like a tiny little practice one. So
Saverings in London with a Y, will you mark the date right now where we hilariously assume that he will never buy amps and physical equipment? Because
yeah,
I see the
just
future.
quote it now. I don't see myself buying it, but like probably like a year down the road, I'll be like, check out this cap that I got. It was like $4,000. Like,
Oh my God. Can you do a little thinking face? And I'm going to screenshot it, and that's going to be the new merch. It'll be like, I don't need any amps. Brought to you by Bonus Round. And on the back,
that thing you've been wanting, you don't need it. You want it, but you don't need it.
Yeah, you guys don't know what you're really asking for.
Yeah, you don't know what you want. Come on, let's be real. But yeah, I don't want to take up any more time. Let's get
Rock
going.
Band, Guitar Hero. There you go. Tie it in.
If those ever make a comeback, I'm definitely playing with you guys.
Guitar Smith, Rocksmith is what
Rocksmith, yeah. But that's with a real instrument, not with like a Guitar Hero controller.
Word.
You just plug in your amp and go.
I'm bad at all of them. But yeah, tell that to Neil Peart. I know Neil Peart has all the drum kits. I get it, but I don't have a house like him.
He's got the
Thank
space.
you. He's got the space.
You guys, I got some breaking gaming news just in. I just saw this I guess it's from 5 hours ago, but it's the first time I'm seeing it.
One second. We need this is where you put in the breaking news.
Yeah. Do kids even get that reference anymore? Yeah. Microsoft has confirmed it's rebranding Xbox Live to just Xbox Network.
Why?
Oh,
So that's a thing.
that's such a strong brand.
Because money. I mean, they don't really need it. People know what it is. And people will still call it Xbox Live, I'm sure.
Yeah, so like Live is such a synonymous thing with Microsoft. It's weird to not think like that.
But it's probably also to reflect how they're spreading the Xbox brand across multiple devices. So they kind of want you to think of it as just something that you use on whatever that you happen to be playing on, an Xbox, a PC, a phone. Do you guys not have phones? Tablets, any of that stuff. So I could see that, but yeah, you're right. You're throwing away a perfectly good name brand. Everybody recognizes that. Even people that hate Xbox know what the hell Xbox Live is. So that just in.
Yep.
Damn. And from that topic, we're going to go straight to the first topic that we may or may not have actually planned. Before we get to that, we're going to go to that first link, but I just want to make sure you like, share, subscribe. We are on Twitter, Instagram at @salt_tierpod. Everything else is Salt Tier Podcast. Please join the Discord. Please join the Steam group where you get the free games.
Yeah, and you'll also get notifications. I just posted those. So yeah, if you're part of the Steam group, you'll get notified on there in the middle of your stream or whatever you're doing.
Super tight. Well, first topic, if we may, super producer. I've just gotten privy to this, that Kotaku has a whole cosplay page, and it's about, I don't know how accurate it is, if it accredits people well, if it's someplace that cosplayers actually maybe even like network on this. Sage Bell, do you have any history with this version of the cosplay community?
Absolutely not.
Yo, if I'm gonna be real here, they featured one of my photos like several years ago when I was still doing photography stuff. Back in 2012. I have the link to the article.
No credit?
Oh man.
No, they credited. Wait, did they credit me? Hold up. I gotta think about this. I gotta look back on this.
So
no, they fucking didn't credit me. Listen, what the fuck?
Ooh.
Yo, Kotaku, what the fuck is this?
So the first time I think I found out about this was on Kotaku's front page. We had a mutual friend of ours.
Whose screen is this?
This is London's.
London, get ad block. It's 2021. Get some ad block up in here.
Oh my gosh! But we had a friend. I don't know what her cosplay name was, but it was Becky, and she had the Game of Thrones cosplay, and it was the front page. We were like, "That's awesome!" And that week we went to her fan page and saw if she got a bunch of likes, and she said, "Oh no, I don't think I was linked to it. They linked the photographer, but not her." So that was unfortunate. So maybe Kotaku needs to start crediting people that do the stuff.
Are you asking Kotaku to have journalistic integrity, sir? Is that what you're asking them to do? You're a little late to the party here.
Are they? Are they not stand-up gentlemen and ladies?
They haven't been since like 2006,
No,
2007.
that Batman cosplay looks dope though.
It's good. That's a good photograph.
That's a good photograph.
Yeah. Actually,
like-
that whole banner, all of those look great.
Yeah, they do look pretty
Yeah,
good.
Siri looks fucking dope too.
Yeah.
And so does Raiden.
Raiden
Or
looks
Raiden.
like
Raiden.
whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that looks pretty picture perfect. It looks like box art right there.
Yeah. So I mostly bring this up because one, I didn't know about it because I'm an old man, but two, this is late March in 2021. People are starting to get vaccinated. People are starting to do long-term planning for events, and I am so excited to get back to cons. Maniacs that aren't in Seattle, I don't think you realize how much of a hub for geek conventions Seattle, Washington is. We have very, very good ones. Very good ones. For example, PAX is the biggest video game convention in America. It overshadowed E3 a while ago. E for All never really made a dent. I don't know what they have on the East Coast and the South except for
PAX again.
PAX East and
PAX South.
PAX South. So, but they call this one PAX West, but it used to be called PAX Prime because it is the biggest one. It's nuts. It takes over the city.
I went there when it was just called PAX, like before all
Yeah.
the coolness.
Can you push up your glasses when you say that, nerdo?
And hold my pinky out.
When it was just called PAX. So all of us here at Saltier are very excited to go to conventions again. Very excited to see the Voodoo Ranger Beer Garden again.
Nice. Yes.
Where they handed us, some goodies to hand out to people and let them know.
I want to swim in the beer garden.
At this point.
It's good for your skin, I hear.
I got to take a picture with the Voodoo Ranger. It's like a
Nice.
full-size statue.
Nice.
It was awesome. So, jump in on the chat. Tell us your favorite con experiences. And ad blocks are not cool.
Mm-hmm.
McJick works, whatever that title is.
Get the
But
mags
moving
outta
on.
here.
Any other words for this before we move on to the next topic?
It's cool.
Cons are cool.
No, the cosplay.
Oh, cosplay is cool.
It is.
I've only
cool.
done it twice. I'm mediocre at it, but it is fun. Yay. Okay. Moving on. And I'm going to have to reel in UPC gamers in for this, but I saw this headline. IGN reports that Capcom released the specs they want you to have, like minimum requirements to play the new Resident Evil game. They also announced dates for the beta coming up, so I think that's why they announced it so early.
Ha, beta.
What? I don't. Oh, here we go. System requirements, and it looked pretty normal. It didn't look like anything to break.
Something's screaming at me right now.
Go ahead, Saverings.
I'm looking at. They have it broken down to ray tracing and ray tracing and no ray tracing. Right, understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Under the ray tracing for your graphics, it shows you what it's targeting. So there's a RTX 2070, an RTX. An NVIDIA. An AMD RX 6700 XT, and a Radeon RX 6800. These are their mid-range to medium high range cards. The 2070 is the mid-range card from a generation ago. So like a year or two ago. It says 4K 45 FPS.
Oh.
Yo, give me that jacket, bro.
Yo, hey, London, can we get back to that merch and swag page, please? That was ridiculous.
So that's screaming to me. Like, since when is 45 FPS ever the target for gaming? Like the consoles, previously, the previous generation, they all targeted 30.
Hold up, hold the door. Do you see this, Saverings, ...
What's up?
Look at this merch kit, like this full swag kit.
Never pre-order anything. I don't see no cat helmet in there, so it don't count to me. Where's the
looks like any
where's the
other
canvas
Pico
duffel
you can get
bag?
at these.
Yeah. Where's the canvas duffel bag? And I bet you that's like a kid size one. That's like a nobody's wearing that.
Well, I guess my question is, I'm probably the only one here that has a PC that can't play this, but everybody else can probably play this. I'm assuming, no problem.
Let's take a look. See. No, you could probably get away with playing this. The recommended spec. I mean, this is recommended specs. This isn't minimum specs. So you're just.
It says minimum specs on the page, which is why I said that. So
they suggest it only needs a 1050 to do minimum. That's very bold of them.
I know. Well, I bring that up because
Oh.
Maniacs, y'all know I have a 970.
Sorry, I didn't see that other one. Here we go. Minimum specs. Let's see. Yeah, you could definitely run this. Your card's more powerful than a 1050 Ti. Your GPU, it's negligible. It's definitely not a, was that an i5 7500? You have a i5 2400, which is from about 3 or 4 years earlier. But the way that those things are built and the configuration, how many cores and this clock speed, you should be able to run it. You might have to turn some things down that are CPU intensive, but you should run this. If you're used to playing on a PlayStation, this will run just fine on your PC.
So I get to hang out with 8-foot vampire women.
Yo,
Yeah.
Hot Riku girl asked, "What about Windows 7? Does it work on Windows 7?"
No, Windows 7, as much as people want to hang on to it, and for as great of an operating system as it was, no.
What about XP?
Unless that was a joke. XP, no, sorry. XP is great if you want to play like the first Metro or
You
like
mean not
Half-Life
Vista?
2.
Man,
I don't know what that is.
Vista? You don't know what that is?
Vista, man.
Yeah, what'd you say?
Windows Vista,
What's that?
Windows Mojave. Do you remember that?
For the record,
We don't speak on such
XP was
things.
the best OS that Windows ever released.
What was the best OS?
That was
It probably was.
our super producer, our Sultan of Spaghetti, and our Prince of Parmesan. Thank you for that.
We will see him later on the show.
And
There's
goodness
something
gracious.
directly targeted him.
I got so distracted by the trailer. Are there any other characters from this game that are like cosplayable? All I could think of are tall ladies.
I'm just looking at the 4K
Well, the vampire
45.
ladies aren't tall.
The 4K 45 FPS. Who in their right mind would do that? Why don't you just drop it to 2K and play it at like 120 FPS? That's weird. That's a weird choice there. Nobody buys a 45 hertz monitor or TV. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Especially since a lot of the arguments we had over the last couple of weeks have been about rollback and multiplayer games and being able to play in quarantine. Like this could be on your hard drive, playing locally. Like the excuses are out the window now.
And normally when you would see something that, it would target a certain resolution and a certain FPS and they show that in the specs, usually when it says whatever 60, that means ideally, like if you go in there and tweak with some things and mess with some things, you'll get it at a locked 60. What's a locked 45? What happens if you get 44, like 40? Like that's so weird to me. Okay.
I guess we'll find out. Yeah, that beta, we'll get to it. Moving on. I believe Sibrings ... has something to talk about VR control. Oh, you know a little bit of something about, mum's the word. You may or may not professionally know about VR.
At one point, I may or may have not known about it. At one point, someone else on this podcast may or may not have known about it, or indirectly or something. But yeah, Keith the Boogie, you got those graphics there because I kind of have to show these. Yes, so
Whoa!
Sony unveiled their controllers for their VR. We don't know about their sensor setup. We don't know about the headset and things like that. But this is what we know so far, and this is what was revealed in a GQ article. You guys ever notice PlayStation news never comes out of like GameSpot or like Kotaku? It always comes out of Wired or Esquire, or in this case GQ. Sony's too cool to like break any news in an actual video game publication. I just thought I'd point that out, and now that I did, you guys are always going to see that all the big news always comes out of like some other type of genre of publication with Sony, which also we could talk about in a later topic we got coming up. But these are the new controllers. They feature a lot of the same technology that the PlayStation 5 controllers, the haptic feedback controllers. They also have finger sensors, very much like the Oculus Rift. If you're watching the podcast, you can see this. If not, you can Google it. But the Oculus Rift controllers, they also have like touch sensors. So when you're holding the controller and you go to point like this, it can tell that your finger's not on the controller, and it assumes that you're pointing. So in games, you can actually point and like wiggle your hands and pick things up in a more realistic fashion. These will also feature that. The Valve Index knuckle controllers do that as well, where it'll track individual fingers. So that's a cool feature. They said they wanted to make these with newer advancements in VR in mind and incorporate those, this would be one of them. That feature wasn't really a thing until second and third generation of VR headsets. Besides the Rift was an original one, and it came with that, so they were thinking a little bit ahead. So that's pretty much what we know, how they look and what technology will transfer over from the main PlayStation 4 controller to this. So this was a cool little tidbit, and I've been curious because I am honestly personally excited to see what they do with VR and that, because I was very impressed with the PlayStation 4 VR, because that should not run on a base PlayStation 4. If you've seen a base PlayStation 4 try to play Witcher or any other really demanding game, like, it's the VRs should not work on there, but it does. They did a really good job with it, and I have no idea how. It's with straight witchcraft. It's straight witchcraft. So I'm curious to see, very excited to see what they have planned for this, and I'm sure they'll get some exclusives and stuff like that. So that'd be cool to see, like who they throw money at, and they can put all their time and all their money and a big budget into it. So I don't know. What do you guys think of this? They look kind of like mittens to me, or they look like they look like a monk weapon from Final Fantasy or something.
They just look like poorly made brass knuckles.
They look like something they look like something your girlfriend would get at like Bed Bath and Beyond, and you don't know what it is, so she explains it to you. Like,
check out the spirit bracelet I got. Like, that's what it reminds me of.
These are scrub. These are those German loofahs or something. I don't know. Like, what is that? So, yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, VR controllers look kind of weird anyway. I think I only really accept the way the Oculus controller works, or it looks like.
Yeah.
Like, these just look kind of silly to me personally.
For example, this is the controller to the HP Reverb G2. It's a Windows mixed reality controller, which also borrows heavily from the Oculus controller. So, yeah.
To the 80s maniacs out there, I'm just waiting for Nintendo to come out with the Power Glove VR controllers. They have to be around the corner.
We'll see when the next Switch comes out. Not this new refresh, which is
the
pretty
IP
much all
is
but confirmed,
there, is what I mean. Like, can you imagine just?
And they've already
against all the
experimented too with the Labo. You could put your Switch in there, and you could play some rudimentary VR type stuff in there. So they've already experimented with. And if you look at Nintendo's track record, a lot of the stuff that they experiment with and seems goofy, they've also done Virtual Boy. A lot of stuff that seems experimental and goofy and bombs for them, later on they bring it back when technology catches up.
Totally right.
It ends up being cool. So. Not this Switch, but maybe the next one. The next one should be able to run VR.
The Swatch.
Well.
The Nintendo Swatch. Or the Switch U.
Yeah. Since it works so well for the Wii.
What?
Yeah.
That didn't confuse Sage Bell. That didn't confuse any grandparents, right? The Wii and Wii U. Not a single one, right?
Are you calling us grandparents?
No, I'm just saying I'm just including you in this conversation.
The same way the Xbox One it's the same way the Xbox One and the Xbox Series didn't confuse people.
I just briefly remember, I think we were playing Smash during a con, and I think Sagebell and I were like clowning on the naming structure of all the different consoles. And I think the only one that we agreed on that made sense was like, hey, PlayStation goes 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's part of the reason why they're so popular. Like they keep it pretty simple, or at least as simple as they can.
Wii U, Switch, or Xbox 360, Xbox. Oh gosh, I already forgot what this one's called.
Xbox One, Xbox Series X.
Oh God. So moving on though, let us know about your VR aspirations if you're trying to be Cybo Man or the Lawnmower Man or Johnny Mnemonic
or Ready Player One, the book, not the movie.
Book, sure. They're both mediocre pieces of media. They're fine. They're fine.
If you say so.
They're fine. Moving on, though. And we're talking about Super Seducer. I believe this is Steven's dot also.
Yeah.
My favorite pickup artist. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I'll let the real life Super Seducer chime in on this if he wants to. Well, basically, Steam is refusing to sell this game called Super Seducer 3. Never mind, there was 1 and a 2. Now they're trying to get fresh with 3. Think of this as do you guys, if anyone old enough to remember those full motion video games that were all the craze back in the 90s, like your Night Traps and your Scottie Pippen and Dunk Cities? And
my friend, I had a Sega CD.
There you go.
Yes, I didn't have Night Trap, but I had Sewer Shark.
Sewer Shark, yes, that's another one.
So Sewer Shark would give you like 10 minutes of gaming, and then all of a sudden you get these like cutscenes.
Yes, and most of the game was these cutscenes that you would just kind of sit through. Or maybe highlight something, and it would trigger a different cutscene. The person picking the thing up. Well, basically, yeah, there she is. Well, basically, what had happened was, there was the Super Seducer 3 hit Steam, and I saw this on Steam maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I kind of giggled and just kind of moved on. I looked at the trailer and just like looked at like to see like what genre and like the feedback. I maybe looked for about 30 seconds and kept it moving. Giggled to myself. Well, this just came out how Steam is refusing to sell this game. They dropped it from the store apparently, which I think is ironic because I think we reported here on this podcast, but in case those that missed it or in case we didn't, there was a game called The Sinking City, which was based on it's kind of based and inspired by Lovecraft. There was a whole thing with the original developer had to end up taking the game off the store because their publisher was screwing them over. And not paying out their money. So the developers had to put a DCMA strike, which is a digital copyright management something Millennium Act or something like that, where basically a company can more easily enforce their copyrights and their IPs, shut you down on YouTube or anything like that if you're using their material. So the developers had to put a strike against their own game on the Steam store to get it removed. A couple weeks ago, the story came up where they were upset at the developer because the developer had gone to a different game front, pulled the game down, edited it to take their name out of it, the original developer's name out of it, and put that game up on Steam. And so the developer had to go on Twitter and be like, "That's not our game. That's on Steam. Don't buy that." And it took Steam a while to respond to this. So I think it's pretty funny that now Steam voluntarily is taking this down when they let a publisher pretty much screw over a developer in public on their own platform, and it took like a week and an act of God for them to fix it, and then this gets taken down. So what you think about Super Seducer 3 getting taken down? I mean, it is your namesake.
That was an unwilling namesake, and fuck you all for giving that to me. The only thing I'm seducing is carbs. And I just want to say that the only people who would play this game probably own this chair.
Oof.
A katana.
With a built-in katana.
Yo, somebody hook me up.
I'm saying I can.
got it.
You can strap one of these. You can strap a VR controller to it and just like actually slice people up in games. That'd be dope.
So I kind of have something funny and relatable to. It's not necessarily. It's banned on Twitch. It's a game that's banned on Twitch, and I didn't know.
What's up?
I started my stream with this game, and it's called Hatred.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know it was banned, and about like,
I'm
not very deep into that game. Like, still just like running around shooting people in my noir murder spree. We just determined it was noir GTA. But he's just like, wait, you need to stop. It's a banned game.
Yeah, you didn't check the list of banned games there.
That'll get your channel taken down real quick.
Sage, I'm glad you brought that up. You have experience streaming on Twitch and stuff like that. I forgot I ran into this a couple days ago. So we all know the word simp has been banned from Twitch because of obvious reasons, like
because of me,
the booby streamers and the whole thing that comes with that.
Whack.
I thought it was funny. Maybe like a week ago, there's a game that's made for Twitch. Like made for streaming in mind. It's called Twitch Simp, but it's made for Twitch. So I'm thinking that whoever made this is totally trolling and trying to get away with having that word be said on Twitch in the context of the game. Like, you're not saying it to be derogatory or whatever you're trying to do. You're just simply stating the name of the game. So I saw this and I was like, somebody did this on purpose. Like, this is premeditated right here. And when you look at it, the pictures of it are just mock-ups of Minecraft. It's like no like original. I think it's like a Minecraft mod or something, honestly.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, but I thought that was pretty funny. Like, they banned that word and somebody's trying to get away or get around it by naming a game that. So when you use the word simp, you're talking about the actual game on Twitch. And just kind of, I don't know. That's what I would do. Like, that's what it looked like to me. So
Trolly.
Yeah, I totally thought about that. And when you were talking about Twitch and banned games, Sage Bell, I was like, oh, I got to bring this up, see what everybody thinks.
All right. Well, we're moving on to a kind of a soft main topic. Oh, and we're gonna talk to the shaman of shred, the Duke of I guess that's not a Duke. The Judge of Gent.
The Judge of Gent. Wow.
And the Wizard of Hair Windmills. Yeah, we're talking to GOONPNW. You want to introduce this post?
Yes. So if you guys are not familiar, EVO, short for Evolution, is a premier fighting game tournament. If just think of it as like the Super Bowl of fighting games for competition wise. Every game is there. They always have a main game on stage. So, you know, as you guys know, since we got hit with COVID, events haven't really been able to be hosted at all. So Evo last year tried to do an online tournament event, and it ended up not well because there were some controversies that came up involving some of the ownership. You guys, if you're interested, you guys can read it up. Long story short, they one of the CEOs did a bad thing, and he was booted from Evo in general. And so since then, they've kind of like been in limbo because they like canceled Evo as a whole last year. So like nobody knew what their plans were or like what they wanted to do. So as of a couple of days ago, Evo ended up buying, or not, sorry, Sony PlayStation ended up buying Evo, and they're now a shareholder like within Evo itself.
Yes.
And a lot of
they co-bought Evo with a company called
It's not Tencent, is it?
No. I thought it might be. It could be, for all we know. It's a company called RTS. They're a division of Endeavor, which manages and promotes and does other esports stuff, apparently.
So a lot of the people, I'm in this Discord with like a bunch of tournament organizers, and we were doing some digging on Endeavor, and they're like some company based out of Delaware.
For the tax credit.
Yep.
It's totally for the tax credit.
But they're like, but a lot of their stuff and business dealings are in Vegas, so that explains why, you know, RTS acquired or co-bought Evo to begin with.
Fun fact, everyone: if you're gonna incorporate and start a corporation, base it out of Delaware because you get a fatty corporation protection there. People do it all the time.
Yep.
We should know we are salt tier and bonus rounds based out of Delaware.
Yep.
Fun fact: there are more corporations based in Delaware than the rest of the country combined, I believe.
Yep.
Wow.
It's something crazy like that. Yeah.
For tax purposes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess that's what we're doing next.
Literally, there's like a house with a bunch of mailboxes, and that's the corporate offices of like all of these huge multinational corporations.
That's so funny.
So you know, to tie it all back, basically a lot of people are kind of indifferent and kind of upset at this happening, because for those who have been in the fighting game community for a while, the term grassroots is a very big term that we use, where like everything is made by the people for the people, and you know, there's no corporate people are usually involved in all of these events. But now that like Sony has dipped their hands in the Evo, people think that the grassroots community is going to die in the fighting game community, which I think is insane. That's not going to happen like at all. For those of you guys who don't know, like Evo kind of became more like a convention than like a fighting game, like more than a fighting game tournament. Like people go there. There's tons of like it's like a con. There's like tons of booths, tons of things to do that's not playing fighting games.
I got buttons installed at Evo.
Yeah, so Loud and Brown like got brand new buttons for his stick. Like, you know, Sage Bell ended up cosplaying while competing, and like there's so many things for you to do at Evo and then not just play fighting games. And I feel like that's such a bad example to use for the fighting game community, because there's so many other events out there that still have a focus on like the people and like playing games and stuff, and less than working on, you know, corporate. So, hello, Vince, trying to say hi down here. I see him in the comments section. I literally spoke to him this morning.
Tight.
But, you know, I really don't like, from my personal opinion, I don't think anything is going to happen to the scene at all. I think it's going to be fine. The one thing that people are kind of really upset about right now is because since Sony bought Evo, they forced Evo to shut down a website called SRK, short for shoryuken.com.
Whoa.
Yeah, they so for those who don't know what SRK is,
And so it begins.
Yep, it is a big website, or was a big website that had a database of like old fighting game material and knowledge and like reading material that you can look up. It's gone now. It's like completely gone. It's,
somebody's mirrored it.
I think someone's mirrored it, so like all the stuff is saved, but they forced that website to shut down same day the acquisition happened.
It's on a .io. And might I also mention that they've already at least tentatively shown the games that are on the next fighting schedule, and there's no Smash Brothers. So
Yeah,
That's
so
also
people
something
are
that could be a
concerned
thing.
about that too, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, since Sony owns it now, does that mean there's going to be any Nintendo stuff or Microsoft stuff?" Like, Sony has said that they are still going to have other games from other like systems for like Nintendo and Microsoft, but they the reason why they picked the main games that there are right now is because those games have rollback. Smash Brothers Ultimate has the shittiest not online net play ever. It is horrible to play online, so there's no way in hell that they're going to make that a main game because it's online. So you have to think about the online kind of infrastructure. If your game does not have rollback, they are not putting your game online. So Mortal Kombat, the new Guilty Gear, Tekken, even though Tekken doesn't really have rollback, their net code is apparently just very good. And then something else. I forgot what the fourth game was, but those are the games that are going to be there.
What was that one game that had great, like a bad community but great netcode? Was that Killer Instinct?
That was Killer. Oh, I mean, Killer Instinct didn't have a bad community. They have a small community nowadays.
It's a small community. Yeah.
But their netcode is amazing. Like really, really fucking good. But yeah, like I don't have an opinion. I think this is a good change. If you want esports and like a convention like feel, you go to Evo and you have a good time. You don't even have to compete or whatever. If you want to like go to grassroots and like more player focused, literally any other event in the fighting game community that's not Evo. So like Combo Breaker is a good example.
Bonus
is
round
a good example.
Bonus round.
Bonus round is a good example. We're grassroots as hell. Come check us out once we open back up post COVID. Like
for an example of this, because I play a bunch of Street Fighter, right, which is the vanilla of the fighting games. There was something really noticeable when Street Fighter V came out. And Red Bull and PlayStation got their claws into it because it was a PlayStation exclusive. It wasn't on Xbox or Nintendo. And the tournament, their launch year, just had this corporate presence.
Get ready for more of that.
Yeah, just compared to, beforehand was like Northwest Majors and, NorCal Regionals and stuff like that. It like you looked at what they were doing with the Red Bull tournament series. They had a lot of money behind it, and there's free Red Bull everywhere. Nope. And it didn't feel bad, but it definitely felt a little corporate.
Yeah. And if you think about it now, like a lot of like corporate's kind of been in the FGC for at least a little while now. Like Red Bull's has their entire foot dipped into this. Monster has their foot dipped into this. Like,
and also Goon, like you were saying, with the whole grassroots base of Evo, like how it's evolved over the years and how it's come up, and it's kind of built itself up without itself being a large corporation or being part of a large corporation. I was also thinking like their sponsors. A lot of the sponsors that they pick are because they're relevant to the people that run the company. Bottom line is they got to pick who their sponsors were. They got to pick who the controllers, sponsors were, all that kind of stuff. But with Sony, if Sony has a PlayStation brand controller coming out, guess what? You're not going to see the other brands. You're going to see the Sony PlayStation brand one.
Oh,
stuff
you're
like
right.
That. And it's going to be little tiny stuff like that. You're going to notice. It might not be Nissan cup of noodles. It might be Marachan because Marachan and Sony have a deal back at their corporate headquarters. Little stuff like that.
This only guarantees that like all the systems will be played on PlayStation 4s and 5s. And it's probably going to guarantee.
Which honestly, by default, though, with fighting games, Sony already kind of has that corner kind of locked.
Yeah, they kind of do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's funny that you mentioned that, but because of the quarantine and the way I'm gaming and the way that, Tekken is played on PC, no problem. I bought Guilty Gear Strive on PC. Not on PlayStation because I
also bought one on PC too.
And to be honest, Guilty Gear has a pretty big following on PC. It's just weird enough and just niche enough that PC gamers are like, yes, even people that don't normally play fighting games, especially on a PC, they see that and they're like, oh, that looks interesting, and they'll play that. So yeah.
And Sage Bell, what system did you have Soul Calibur
on? The first time or the second time? So when I first got Soul Calibur, it was Soul Calibur 4. And so 360. I have Soul Calibur on the GameCube. I also have it on the PS4, which is the most recent Soul Calibur, and I might have finally put it on Steam, but I got it co-optive play.
I mostly meant, I guess PS4, because when you and we all went to Evo, I was wondering like what you were training on. So it was on PS4.
Shout out to Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast, because that's what I had. The very first one. I love the fuck out of that game.
Soul Calibur 2, right?
No, the first one, just plain old Soul Calibur. Yeah, with freaking
Yeah.
Edgemaster.
Oh, are you sure you're not talking about Soul Edge, my friend?
No, not Soul Edge, Soul Calibur. Yeah, Soul
Okay.
Calibur was a launch game on the Dreamcast. I got that one.
Heard. So Goon, bonus rounds in the future, online or online. I guess it doesn't matter, but in person. Are you going to be having PlayStations readily available, or are you going to have PC setups?
The PC setups are just too hard to really coordinate because a lot of PCs are built different. So if you plug in one controller, it will work on one PC, might not work on another PC, might need a driver. And then that's why having, a system is way easier because it just streamlines everything and everything's already pre-installed as far as like firmware on like all different kinds of fight sticks are available. So it's just easier to do it on there. Everybody wants to go to shift to PC, right? Because PC has less native frame delay.
You don't
PC
pay for annual online
You don't pay for an annual subscription. Like
there you go.
It's just a better choice. But unfortunately, since every PC is built different, you can build the same PC with the same parts, and it's still going to act different. Like after the end process.
Yeah, because it would depend on like what updates you have and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And now with this, it's sounding like Sony makes even more sense because there's gonna be some shenanigans
because they know that the majority of their games are on PS4. So, and then now they're gonna ship to PS5. It's backwards compatible, so they're probably gonna start putting PS5s out for the
What's a Stadia?
Stadia. That's what we should bonus round.
Stadia
exclusive.
And shout out in the chat to my boy JB because that's who I used to play Soul Calibur against quite a bit. He was there when I got my Dreamcast. So yeah.
And I don't want to hold Goon too long, but do you have anything else to say on this topic before you have to go and tend to the pups and in the real life
and have some dinner because I'm hungry as hell? But I have some quick words about this, especially when it comes to grassroots and like if for example if anyone watching right now, if you guys have been in the fighting game community since forever, don't think of Sony dipping their feet into this as a bad thing. I think you should be thinking about it in a way that you should think of EBO as like a completely different entity compared to other fighting game tournaments. Whereas this, like EBO is more focused about, corporate stuff. It's basically a convention that includes fighting games. That's what you should look at.
It's definitely about to get more corporate up in there though.
Yeah, it's about to get more corporate. Like they're going to buckle down on a lot of stuff, but like, just think about that as like premier esports. Like if you want to think about like grassroots, like G sports, like where you're all G's and like wanting to like pop off on people and do crazy stuff when you win, like go to actual grassroots tournaments like Combo Breaker, CEO. Come check out Bonus Round if you guys live in the area. Like we have a really big Tekken community here. Come hang out with us. But yeah, like don't think about this as a bad thing. I know people are kind of doom and glooming it right now, and I think it's kind of silly. To be honest, like encourage this kind of stuff to happen because if money comes in. Yeah, if the money comes into fighting games, then we actually, can make money playing fighting games. We're too poverty right now.
I know.
If you go to you spend like $1,500 to like get a plane ticket and get a hotel and eat food just to go to some like fighting game tournament. And if you by any chance win or like place top 8, you get like $150. That doesn't cover anything. So having corporate come in and do all these stuff and kind of spruce things back up and bring money into the scene is necessary, and I feel like people should be looking at it like that. If you guys want like like super tight knit grassroots, go to the other tournaments. If you guys want an esports like good time,
like an event, go to
like an event.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's all I gotta say.
And how do we follow you, Goon?
Again, GOONPNW on Twitter, GOONPNW on Facebook, but don't talk to me on there. I don't go on it. GOONPNW on Instagram. I also don't go on it. So just Twitter. Be also sure to follow Bonus Round FGC on Twitter. Where we're in hiatus right now as I work out some stuff with like some fellow tournament organizers throughout the PNW. But more to that, or more to come on that once we figure things out. So that's all I gotta say.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing perfect individual note accuracy covers of the Guilty Gear Strive soundtrack because you're playing guitar.
No, I'm working on it. You'll get a base cover of Plastic Love first. How about that? And then YouTube will tear it down. Hell yeah, let's go.
Thank you very much, Goon. And this brings us to our break.
Later,
Thank
Goon.
you guys so much. Have a great night.
Deuces.
Peace out, man.
Maniacs. This is the bridge. The bridge of the song. We are brought to you by.
Hang on.
Oh,
Voodoo Ranger. I'm gonna be AFK for a sec to get a new Voodoo Ranger because I'm running low.
okay. As Saverings gets one, I'm gonna bring it up to everybody's attention. They're on Twitter. They're on Instagram. Follow them. They have deals and contests every now and then. They are B Corp certified and employee owned, doing fantastic beers, mostly IPAs,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And I feel now that it's spring, a new one's coming any second now.
I think Voodoo Ranger is New Belgium's IPA line.
Yeah, totally.
But I mean, like, because everything that's come out is IPA.
Yeah, it's got so much character, you know?
They all say IPA on them.
Every single one. But they also, it's like New Belgium is pretty big. So if you go to their site right now, you can get just a New Belgium. Like there's a sour IPA, but it is not a Voodoo Ranger IPA.
A sour IPA?
Yeah, they have a sour IPA.
Ooh.
They have a lot of different brands because to maniacs that don't know about Voodoo Ranger, the big seller for them is their Fat Tire. That's their amber ale. It's extremely popular. But the Voodoo Ranger line is who sponsors us.
Mm-hmm.
And they have fantastic different expressions for that. But outside of the IPA line of Voodoo Ranger, like I said, they also have their sour IPA. They obviously have their Belgian styles. And they have, a bunch of these like darks, and it's a freaking cool company just in general. Piano keys, the Mural, which is what Goon likes to drink. But check out all of them, but mostly check out Voodoo Ranger. Like, follow, subscribe, and we will let you know. Yeah, live Rangerously. Thank you. Over the winter, we were given a code to help out all of our listeners to get discounts on Drizzly deliveries, and hopefully we get another one of those soon because that felt great to be part of that inner circle.
I mean, free beer. I mean, beer delivery. Yes.
Cheaper beer delivery. Yes.
Yeah.
Especially with our tax laws.
Yeah. Oh, what do you mean? Washington State is super cheap to get alcohol. What are you talking about?
It's great. No taxes up here. What are you talking about?
Oh, sad face. But we must move on. We got a couple more things to talk about before we split. And Saverings go.
We got a quick one. Keith the Boogie. You want to throw this up? This just in. We got another one. You guys want to make the noises? This literally just in 5 minutes ago. Probably 10 minutes ago at this point. What we got here? Keith the Boogie. Super Seducer 3. What we got?
Oh, you didn't put a number in front of it, but yeah, there we go. Boom.
Microsoft in talks to buy Discord.
That's
$10
massive.
billion.
What?
Is Discord really worth $10 billion?
It
I don't
is,
fucking
though.
know. No, it's not. No, it is not.
Uh-oh.
Oh, anyway. So we all saw the headline. You can kill it. I didn't know you needed a subscription.
Bloomberg.
Well,
the little grassroots journalist network.
Yeah, that you may or may not have heard of. But yeah. So what do you guys think about Microsoft? It's probably going to happen. You think Discord's really going to say no to $10 billion? That's why they're paying that much. That's fuck you money. That's like, we'll never sell. Fuck you. Here's $10 billion.
I mean, at least when they buy things, they don't make them change.
Ooh, but I know someone that worked at Bungie before the buyout, and then she left after the buyout.
Yeah,
it was just enough different that.
That's true of the newer Microsoft. Microsoft in the last 10 to 15 years, they don't really. Well, maybe longer than that. Maybe about 15 years. Ever since the Nokia buyout, they've been doing that. But before that, Microsoft would completely morph whatever they bought, usually to get it to fit under Windows somehow.
Don't you have Windows phones?
Yeah, Windows phones. Those are just anyways. Windows phones are now Android devices. But yeah. So what do you guys think? What happens if this goes through? Think about this. They own Skype already. Think about it. You own Skype and Discord. That's massive.
Skype's crap.
It is, but it's by far the biggest one because it's the one everybody knows. Like pretty much to this day, the generic term for messaging somebody, it's either I'm going to FaceTime that person or I'm going to Skype that person. Even
I
if
hear Zoom more than anything.
Yeah,
to be
Zoom's the
honest.
new word.
Zoom is still dinky though. I promise you. There's
I
like
don't like
Zoom
it. Don't get me
sucks.
wrong.
yeah, but I know I'm saying, but like numbers wise, there's probably like a quarter of the people on Zoom that are using that have a Skype this Skype account, even though they're not using it. If you own Windows, you have a Skype account. So think
Yeah.
about how many people that is. So
Not that they all know how to use it.
it's true, but that's still pretty big. And also the big thing too is Skype. You know why Microsoft bought Skype? It was for the Skype name, of course, but they weren't ever really planning on pushing Skype. That's why you haven't really seen Skype blow up. That's why you've seen Teams blow up. That's why you've seen Zoom blow up. They bought it for the codec, and the codec is the thing that it's their engine. It's their audio visual streaming engine. How the whole thing works. The main feature why you even mess with Skype. So they use that. And now that's what they use for Teams. That's what gets used in Zoom, I'm pretty sure. I think Zoom does license whatever codec that is from Microsoft. It's using the same codec as Teams. So that's why they bought it. Just to get that little bit of code so they can copy and paste it everywhere and charge people for it.
Wicked smart.
Yep.
Do you use Discord pretty often, both of you?
What?
Do you both use Discord pretty often?
You probably use it more than me, Sage.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm in like over 20 different Discords.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I use
I'm
Discord.
well integrated.
I use Discord, but as an old man, Discord frightens and confuses me. It's like ICQ, but not as user friendly.
Same. I get lost like when you hear the audio coming in and you're like clicking tabs.
But the main reason I don't use Discord is because it likes to bully and take over whatever you have plugged into it. So your microphone, your camera, all that stuff, Discord's like mine, and you have to like wrestle it away from Discord just so your computer can use it. So that's why I kind of avoid it.
I mean, I have Discord open right now, but as long as I'm not live in Discord, it's not gonna take away what I have.
That's true. But if you turn it on or if you forget it's on, you have to go back and untie it from everything. I don't know.
You wouldn't have to worry about that because you wouldn't be live. So like if you close how often are you going to be live streaming on Discord?
Well, I don't know, but like I've had Discord open. I've tried to use Steam Chat or try to use something else, and it's like your microphone's not detected, and I'm like, this is silly, and I end up going and I turn it off in Discord, and then suddenly everything works. I don't know, like they kind of by default, maybe it's a setting I have. Maybe I'm telling it to be on when it shouldn't be, but I've had to go back and be like, okay, Discord, that's enough. I want to use the thing over here. Thank you.
This is so exciting. I can't believe we had 2 news flashes during our podcast.
During the podcast, yeah, and that's a big one. That's a big one if they buy Discord.
And we're going to go, it's that special time, but we're going to go in reverse order. And we're going to start off with the purplest hair in the podcast. Is that me? Yeah. I don't think it is. I think we're going to go right next to the screaming All Might Sky on our stream. I love this background graphic so much. It's so ridiculous. But closing statements, if you wanted to tag one of the unmentioned topics also, and how our maniacs can follow you. Ooh, and don't forget to plug your stream.
Definitely.
So I will be live, I believe, Thursday this week instead of Wednesday. So I've been doing Wednesdays for the past couple weeks, but I should be back live on Thursday with Rogue. I have a dental appointment on Wednesday, and they're doing like top and bottom both on the same side. So
so you might be out of commission, huh?
I mean, it wears off in a couple hours. So, and it's at 8 a.m. So I'll be fine for stream, but I won't be. Because I had my dental appointment last month. This week is the first week I've been able to have anything hard or crunchy on that side.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm very sensitive to like the anything. So like they're gonna have to numb my entire face, like triple numb it, and then I won't be able to eat hard food for 3 weeks.
3 weeks
on my right side.
Sorry, I yelled.
I'm very sensitive. It's just
it's so much time.
No,
I had a bad cavity. It was a bad cavity.
I feel you because I broke a tooth on this side, and oh god, that was just like and like everything, even your spit was too hot. It was not a good look. I didn't like it at all. So yes, I empathize. But yeah, I got to see that stream. I got to see how you're holding up there on stream.
I should be fine, but I'll definitely take pictures because I think it's really funny when I can't like
mumble rap.
Mumble rap on Thursday.
Yeah. You're gonna be like 50 Cent or like Kanye through the wire.
Yeah, I'll take a video.
Thursday, not Wednesday. Hot Riku girl.
So that Find me on Twitch and Twitter at SageBell. I'm most active there. Occasionally I post on Instagram and Facebook, which is SageBell_model. In the meantime, I'm just gonna be playing Parkosaurus Rex until my heart explodes because I love little dinosaurs and I'm simple.
Now I have to look that up. Damn it!
It's like $25 on Steam.
You can't look it up yet because guess who's dropping their socials and their closing statements next? It rhymes with the Blaver Blings.
Oh, that's clever. My name is the Saverings. Hello, everyone. Goodbye, everyone. I should say. Hit me up on Steam because I do have a few friends that have hit me up. I have a separate games list on Steam of just people that I play or do play Stellaris, and sometimes we play together. But I've had a few friends hit me up and say, "Hey, when the new update comes out, so Stellaris, they like to name their updates after sci-fi writers, scientists, this sort of thing. This newest big update that's coming up on April 15th of next month is named after Philip K. Dick, the author of Do Sheep Dream? Do Electric Sheep? I forgot what it's called. Something Electric Sheep Dreams. Something. Somebody can correct me there in the chat. I'm having a brain fart right now. Those books went on to inspire things like Blade Runner and things of that nature. Ghost in the Shell, stuff like that. So basically, the new update for Stellaris is update 3.0, and it's called the Dick Update.
So to talk about it, it was Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?
Thank you. So yeah. So next update of Stellaris is called 3.0, the Dick Update. So there will be more Dick Update jokes incoming because you can't help it because it's sophomore. It's right there. It's right there. It writes itself.
Would that be an up dick?
Whoa!
I gotta see you there.
And that's
Yeah.
why he's the super producer.
Yeah.
That's why he's.
So we're thinking about pumping out shirts. Be on the lookout for those. Maybe. Let's get some waiting on the Dick Update. I don't know, something we could do something with that. But yeah, Stellaris. I don't even know where I was going with that. I got lost in the Dick Update. But oh yeah, so find me on Steam because we are looking to get a game together, and the more people we can get in there, the better. Because multiplayer Stellaris is a whole other beast, and it's fucking hilarious. Like, it's hilarious when you can gang up on the computer and game other people in that game. It turns into a whole other beast. I'll try to get my co-host maybe to jump in and get owned, but I'll help him out. So yeah, if you're playing on Steam, check out our Steam group, Saltier Podcast. It's got a list right there on the side of all the games that we play on Steam. And if you want to hit any of us up and play that, just leave a little comment there, and I'll take a look at it. I'll notify the people. We also give away games on there.
I'm waiting for you to jump into that horror game stream and get killed again. That's what I'm waiting for.
Phasmo?
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
I should gift you Dread Halls, Sage Bell, because I want to see you play that.
All right. I don't know what it's about, but I'm always down to play new games.
Yeah, and you like the scary games? Yeah, you'll definitely like this one.
And apparently the banned games.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely check that list next time you're gonna ban something. I keep playing Hatred. That's like right at the top of the list.
Twitch list, so I guess I'll just put it in the demo section.
One day. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a beautiful piece of merch. Wouldn't that be?
No, we can't do because we're Seattle based. We have to do the Seahawks style scarf.
Yeah, you're right. We can't do infinity scarves. We got to do traditional English scarves. Maniacs, this has been episode 116. I am Loud and Brown, at Loud and Brown on Instagram and Twitter. On PlayStation and Steam, I am Gross Stuff with a P. Wait. H. There you go. And my closing statement is: get ready for cons, get vaccinated. We're all going to be able to hug and kiss everybody. And it's going to be a beautiful thing. I can't wait to go to tournaments in person. I can't wait to do all of these things in person. The first bonus round this summer is going to be bananas.
Slow down, Loud and Brown. Slow down. The Spanish flu lasted 3 years. So this might take a minute. Just slow down. Everyone chill. Everyone slow down. It's going to take a minute. People are getting pepper sprayed at spring break right now. So I'm just saying, we're still a while away.
That said, make sure to follow, like, and subscribe. I don't know how you're listening or viewing this, but we now every week stream on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, where the jury's out with our producers on which one has more going on. but we will continue to bring you beautiful content. We'll continue to be on Instagram a little bit and Twitter, hopefully a little bit more. And also, please support our parent company, the Soundcasting Network, that has one of my favorite local podcasts, How to Be a Better Drinker, which is about alcohol and the food service industry as a whole. It's freaking fantastic. And lastly, well, not lastly, but nextly, thanks again to Voodoo Ranger. Drink all of that. Hashtag Live Rangersly. Jump in the chat because we like to hear about you, and we like to have people involved, and that's how you get free games.
Yes.
And
Got a few extra ones coming up for you.
Oh, okay. We got some extra ones coming up, so we'll talk about that more. I want to thank GOONPNW for jumping in, and I want to thank Sagebell and Saverings ... for being the best people ever.
I'm all right. I'm not the best. I'm all right.
Anything else, nerds? We good?
I believe we're good here. Sagebell, you got anything?
No,
No?
I'm just playing with dinosaurs.
Smoke trees.
Already? You know?
Yeah.
All right. This has been a
I said I
production
have
of
a problem.
This has been a production of the Soundcasting Network. Thank you kindly. Click.